Doom v Vamus v Vamus Epicureans. This is the BCE Comics Pod one-shot edition. I'm your host, Nick Smith, and I'm joined by...
Stojr from Stojr Shelf. How's it going?
I'm doing well, particularly since we are participating in Kurtis Findlay's Epic Marvel Podcast Reading Club, and this one-shot is going to be our brief thoughts on today's issue, which is X-Men Annual number 6, Blood Feud. All right, written by Chris Claremont, penciled by... Oh no, I forgot to look up how to pronounce his name. I've done it again.
I said it correctly last time because Curtis said it today, and Bill Sienkiewicz.
Bill Sienkiewicz, okay. Shame on me for not doing that. Now, did you get the pronunciation of our inker's name?
No.
Bob
Bob
Wyacek? Wyacek?
Wycek.
Man, I'm embarrassed for myself.
You were probably correct. But, I mean,
I don't know.
He wasn't talking about this issue. He was talking about the earlier one in today's weekly recap. But so I don't think he went into the inkers, but yes.
Yeah. Mind you, when Stojr is saying today's weekly recap, we record these in advance. This is currently January 12th, but this episode is coming out, I don't know off the top of my head, whatever the appropriate day is. Alright, anyway, for the annual issue, Dracula returns, and he uses the hypnotic control he had over Storm when he bit her in issue number 159. He uses that to get Storm to steal a manuscript that contains a spell which could destroy his soul. However, Lilith, Dracula's daughter, possesses the body of Kitty Pryde in order to steal the book first, but is prevented from using it on Dracula when the X-Men arrive, and the spell would have stolen Kitty's soul anyway, don't you know? I didn't when I read it, but it somehow people knew. Alright, so the X-Men are then able to defeat Dracula and presumably kill him, but it's ambiguous enough that he could come back at some point when we need him. But apparently that is also enough for us to not worry about the X-Men ever being possessed again. Alright, Stojr, what are your thoughts?
So I think the art is really the star of the show in this issue, and I liked the plot a little bit better than last time, although it gets a little too mystical, too hand wavy in certain parts for me. The cover of this is just iconic. Like I think we've had, I'm pretty sure we've had homages of this, but I mean this is an amazing cover by Bill. Not only do you have this image of Storm looking amazing there as a vampire, having bit Kitty. You get, he's able to work in that she still has the cross of David, or the Star of David around her neck. Showing that like Storm was able to get past her faith there and sort of put that stuff out there. You got all the X-Men that are wounded or down. This is just so iconic to look at. I also think the first few pages have like some of my favorite art in this issue from Bill. I love the emotion and how messy Kitty looks as she's just like sort of phasing through everyone as she's throwing this little temper tantrum. Because this is basically immediately after the last issue. Where she's throwing a fit because she's throwing a fit because of her parents.
Yeah.
Yeah. So. Sorry, what I meant to say is when I first read this, I thought she was throwing a fit against the last issue.
I did the same.
And then I talked myself into it that she actually was. But as she goes through, she phases through everyone, and then you get that page on 354, that panel on 354, where she's just kind of screaming this guttural teenage "I hate you" scream, and Bill kind of has this sort of like offset red inking of her face. This is what I'm referring to right here.
Yeah, I got it.
That's just so cool looking. It's such an interesting choice. And then you fast forward to the next couple pages with what's going on here, and you get that sort of image that just, it feels like you're watching an old vampire movie where you get the white background, the yellow background, the sort of orange, and then the red of Storm on this page as she is hunting down the X-Men through this particular this panel and this sequence here. I like that there's another foil in here with like the in the sense that like Dracula is undone or has somebody else that he's trying to get this MacGuffin before. And ultimately, there's this other character that bites Colossus and sort of controls her and is pretending to be Kitty. But all that stuff is kind of feels very silly because at the end, it's just like, well, I didn't drain enough of his blood to make a difference there, so he'll be fine. So I'm not the biggest fan of the magic stuff because I feels like you can write in whatever rules you want, and I get it. It's comic books; you can do that with everything. But for me, like the imagery in here, having Lilith and Dracula in here, all of these things together make this for a very fun read. What did you think?
Yeah, it's a weird one. It's fine. I felt like it was a stretch to actually have Storm and the X-Men involved in this. Why does Dracula actually have to have Storm, of all people, do this when he probably has...
Because he's in love with her. She's hot.
Oh, right, yeah. Like all the other supervillains are, right?
Yeah.
And I was kind of curious as to chronologically when this would have come out in reality, right? Like, as you said, when I first read it, I thought, oh, it is coming right after that last issue, because that's why Kitty's having her temper tantrum. But no, it is because of her parents. It's a separate tantrum that she's having. And given all the Brood stuff that just happened, I mean, if Storm just had her body replaced by the magic space whale in 166, would she still be under Dracula's thrall, right? Now, granted, it's an annual issue. I'm not expecting it to be perfectly in continuity, so that's just kind of why I'm curious as to when it came out. Is this something that Claremont was even considering? I don't know. Let's see.
I mean, normally I write off continuity issues in an annual because it's a different.
Uh-oh, I lost you, Stojr.
Be a timing thing, but this is Claremont, so.
Okay, had a little bit of a glitch there, but I think your audio came through either way, so we're okay there. Art-wise, I agree with you. The art is really good, with the exception of this last panel on 352. It's clearly this copy-paste of the previous panel, and it's just the lines are so thick, it just feels so out of place. It makes me wonder if there was something else there that was replaced at the last second, or... I can't imagine this would save a whole lot of time to just copy the one panel, but I don't know.
Yeah, it's almost like they copied it and blew it up and then put that in there. Like they had to replace that panel with something else there. I'm with you.
Yeah, but other than that, I think it's great. Like the copying of the page where Storm is in the different colors. I mean, that I can get behind. Right, we're doing something artistic there. That's cool. But the one of the close up of Kitty just felt weird and out of place. So, all right, Stozer, any other thoughts?
Nope, I'm good.
All right, great. Well, again, if you guys have enjoyed our thoughts here, follow us on YouTube. We'll read, rate, and review a big collected edition once a month. We'll have these one-shots every day. And, well, we'll see you guys tomorrow where we're going to wrap up this volume. All right, see you next time.
Yeah.